Hi, I'm Coco from the Miscellaneous. Welcome to my Gorillaz art style analysis phase 2 video. Sorry, I had to reference the MTV Cribs video. You should go watch it, by the way. It's really funny. Anyways, hello. In case you don't know what this is, go watch the first video, Loser. But if you do know what's happening, welcome back. Phase 2 is very different aesthetic-wise compared to phase 1. Not only with the music, but with the art style too. Demon Days, Phase 2's main studio album, is their most popular and iconic, and it also has their most popular song, Feel Good Inc. But enough about all that. You came to hear me yap about the art style, and also attempt to draw myself. So, I present the Phase 2 Gorillaz art style analysis. Phase 2 was in 2005, so around 4 years after Phase 1. Phase 2 has a much more darker aesthetic than Phase 1, not only with its music, but also art. Like I said, Phase 2 is the most popular phase, and it's what normally pops into people's heads when they think about Gorillaz aesthetic-wise. For starters, Phase 2's art got a lot more detailed overall, and everything just looks a bit more realistic here. The body proportions, while still not accurate to real life, become much more realistic and complex, with more curves in limbs and such. Line weight still has the whole thicker lines on the outside, thinner lines on the inside, but it's a bit more toned down here. Line weight has also started changing within its own line a lot more than in Phase 1, and lines have also become to be more scratchy and textured looking. Overall, a lot more textured is used in this phase. Facial features have also stayed the same with mouths and noses, but eyes have changed a bit. Eyes for Tootie and Russell mostly stayed the same, and Murdoch's are now just sometimes tinted yellow a bit, but Noodles have changed a lot. Most of the time her hair is covering her eyes, or again we either see them as closed or dots, but in one of the first shots of the El Manana video, we can see one of Noodles' eyes. This is one of the first cases of us seeing an actual normal eye in Gorillaz, and this is also the only case, at least of what I've seen, of a character having an actual colored iris, in which Noodle has very beautiful green eyes. Yeah, I'm not counting Murdoch's weird pink, red, or gray, orange eye thing that literally changes every 5 seconds from an iris to just his entire pupil, or literally just not being there for half of the art that we see of him. Sorry. Inconsistency is literally Gorillaz' middle name. But I digress. The characters' faces have been given more wrinkles and detailed eye bags, especially Tootie, who is now rocking forehead wrinkles. Hair and shape has gone from being spiky and pointy at the ends to more flat line cut-ish. Tootie's hair went from blue to more of a turquoise. Murdoch and Noodle's hair are no longer the same color as the line art, with Murdoch's being a dark gray and Noodle's now being more purple. Hands really just got more pointy and more detailed in this phase, and shading got a lot more complicated in this phase, with the use of hard shading and hard highlights still being used in some of the art. But in other pieces, we can see the airbrush tool being used for shading and highlighting. Most of the time, it's sort of a mixture of both, but shading definitely got more detailed, showing more wrinkles on clothing and body parts. Clothing items in this phase often look more boxy and rectangular and use a lot more thick lines to show wrinkles. I didn't really talk much about color for Phase 1, but compared to Phase 1, Phase 2 has much more duller and dingier colors. With shading, instead of using a reddish darker color like Phase 1, Phase 2 uses more darker grayer colors for shading. The overall darker aesthetic lends itself useful for the album's vibes. Alright, it's that time again where I attempt to draw. This one took a lot longer because there was just a lot more trial and error with the line art and proportions and just trying to make it look good. Yeah, it was pretty difficult. For body proportions, I use more of Noodle as reference, and also this picture of Paula Cracker. I was actually able to draw eyes for this one, and used the shot of Noodle's eye from the El Manana video as a reference. I tried to make the line art more detailed, specifically with clothes, hands, and the face, and I made my hair more zigzagged because I thought it fit. I did more of a red color palette because red is used a lot more in Phase 2 art, and my outfit is kind of like biker bad boy. I don't know, I thought it was cool, and I guess it kind of fits. I only did airbrushing shading to contrast from Phase 1 and tried to make the shading dull. I overall just tried to make it more detailed. I slapped myself in front of the Feel Good Ink Tower and wrote Phase 1. I meant Phase 2. I'm not tripping balls, you're tripping balls. Anyways, there it is. I think I prefer this one from the Phase 1 drawing. I don't know, I just kind of like how it looks better. And it was definitely way more fun to make, but it was very time consuming. This took me like 3 hours to make, which I mean, I guess isn't that long of a time for a piece of art, but still. Anyways, that's it for this video, and Phase 3 will hopefully be coming soon. Be sure to like and subscribe, please. And bye bye!